the President of the United States, accompanied by the Prime Minister of the Netherlands.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Before I begin, I want to apprise everyone of an incident in the Strait of Hormuz today involving USS Boxer, a Navy amphibious assault ship. The Boxer took defensive action against an Iranian drone which had closed into a very, very near distance, approximately 1,000 yards, ignoring multiple calls to stand down, and was threatening the safety of the ship and the ship's crew. The drone was immediately destroyed. This is the latest of many provocative and hostile actions by Iran against vessels operating in international waters. The United States reserves the right to defend our personnel, our facilities, and interests, and calls upon all nations to condemn Iran's attempts to disrupt freedom of navigation and global commerce. I also call on other nations to protect their ships as they go through the strait and to work with us in the future. Thank you very much. I thought you should know that. I'm honored to be here with Prime Minister Mark Rutte of the Netherlands. Fantastic country, incredibly successful country. And so many of our Dutch friends who have come with Mark. I want to thank you all for being with us in the East Room of the White House. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you also to Vice President Pence and Acting Secretary of Defense Richard Spencer for joining us. Thank you, Richard, Mike. Last month, Melania and I traveled to the United Kingdom and France to commemorate the 75th anniversary of D-Day. Together, we paid tribute to every courageous patriot who fought to liberate Europe from the evil of Nazi rule. Today, on behalf of the American people, I will receive an American flag that flew aboard a ship carrying the first waves of United States service members to land in Normandy. 75 years after that momentous day, and that is truly a momentous day, one of the most powerful, most important days in the history of our world. It is my honor to welcome this great American flag back home, where it belongs. I want to thank the Prime Minister, as well as U.S. Ambassador Peter Hoekstra. Pete, thank you. Thank you very much, Peter. You're doing a great job. And Dutch Ambassador Henrik Schoer for being here today and for their devoted efforts to deepen the abiding ties between the United States and the Netherlands. Our relationship has never been closer than it is today. We're also profoundly moved to be joined by several incredible World War II veterans who helped defeat the Nazis and save freedom for all humanity. With us is Jack Goldstein, who served in Europe during the war. Jack, where's Jack? Thank you, Jack. Thank you. Thank you very much, Jack. Along with Stephen Melnikoff and Harold Engel, both veterans of the Normandy campaign. Thank you very much, fellas. And they went on to fight in the Netherlands. Thank you, fellas. That's incredible. Thank you, all three. You look great. Young guys. Thank you very much. This event would be not possible without the extraordinary generosity of the flag's two donors from the Netherlands, Mr. Bert Krook and his uncle and business partner, Mr. Theo Scholz, and I want to thank you very much. Where are they? Thank you very much. That's great. Very much. Thank you. And thank you for preserving our history and for watching over the immortal legacy of our D-Day heroes. That's what you did. Thank you. And I know it was expensive. Two rich people, I assume, right? Huh? I appreciate it. Thank you. On June 6th, 1944, the flag we received today flew aboard landing craft Control 60, and it was approached, and when it approached Utah Beach, I was there very recently with the First Lady, and it was something incredible to see. Commanding the ship was a young Navy lieutenant, 2 days shy of his 27th birthday, named Howard Vanderbeek. Amid treacherous German minefields, raging winds, and rough seas, Lieutenant Vanderbeek and his crew led an astonishing 19 waves of American troops and equipment to those very, very dangerous beaches. Through it all, this flag soared proudly above the waters of the English Channel, announcing the arrival of our American warriors. After completing his mission on D-Day, Lieutenant Vanderbeek took the flag, now bearing the scars of German machine gun fire, and stained all over with dirt and diesel and blood. He carried it with him in his backpack for the remainder of the war and kept the flag until his death in 2014. Soon after, the flag was purchased at auction by Mr. Krook and Mr. Scholz, whose relatives were among the hundreds of Dutch who perished in the German bombings of Rotterdam in 1940. These two gentlemen paid $500,000 to obtain the flag, just so they could return it as a gift to the American people and to the United States of America. As they explained, they wanted to thank the United States for the extraordinary sacrifice our service members made to liberate their nation and all of Europe in World War II. So nice. Thank you very much. So nice. Thousands of Americans gave their lives on D-Day, and many thousands more gave their lives to drive the Nazis from the Netherlands. Following today's ceremony, the extraordinary flag will be displayed at the Smithsonian's Museum of American History, and very proudly. With us this afternoon, our Secretary of the Smithsonian, a friend of mine, Lonnie Bunch. Lonnie, thank you very much for being here. Thank you. And Director of the Museum of American History, Anthea Hartug. Anthea, thank you very much. Thank you. And I know they will take great care of this priceless American artifact. Thank you very much for being here, both. I know they share Mr. Krook's vision for the flag. As he said, it will tell visitors from around the world about the story of freedom. With their help, this wonderful flag will be preserved forever and ever in American history, as it should be. It will always be a reminder of the supreme sacrifice of our warriors and the beautiful friendship between the Dutch and the American people. And now I would like to introduce a very special man, a man I've gotten to know very well during our strong negotiations on trade and our negotiations on the military and NATO and all of the other things we've been talking about for so long, it seems like right now. A prime minister who's very, very popular in his country, a great gentleman. And you're going to say a few words, and then Mr. Krook and Secretary Bunch will tell us more about the treasured gift that they presented us with. So I want to thank you all, and God bless America. Mr. Prime Minister.
Mr. President, First Lady, Vice President, 70 years ago on the Normandy coast, the Allied forces, including thousands of American soldiers, started the liberation of Europe. Beach by beach, street by street, and city by city, they recaptured our freedom at a terrible cost. Many of those men gave their lives so that today we can live our lives in freedom and peace. We will be forever grateful to them. When we hear the stories of those who survived, we can barely imagine what they must have gone through. Landing on those Normandy beaches, plowing through the cold water and the thick mud, while countless grenades exploded and machine guns fired. Death, chaos, and terror surrounded them. But despite all this, those brave soldiers managed to stand their ground. They advanced beyond the beaches and eventually liberated Europe from Nazi occupation, country by country. It's impossible to put their courage and sacrifice into words. But this flag we present to you, Mr. President, is a symbol of what can't be expressed in words. The first American flag to reach the coast of Normandy, where it was hit by enemy fire like all those Allied soldiers. This flag survived, and it prevailed. And thanks to Mr. Bert Kreuk, who became the flag's owner, we stand here today to hand it back to you. A symbol of the unique bond between the United States and Europe, a bond that stretches across the Atlantic. It's also a symbol of the close bond between the US and the Netherlands. Our countries stand shoulder to shoulder when times are tough. Centuries ago, the Netherlands was one of the first countries to support the young American Republic striving for independence. And in our darkest hour, 75 years ago, thousands of brave American soldiers crossed the Atlantic to fight for our freedom. They brought this flag with them. 75 years ago, it arrived on the coast of Normandy. And today, it's coming home. To the land of the free and the home of the brave. Back where it belongs. Thank you. I would like to introduce Mr. Bert Kreuk to make his remarks.
Thank you, Mr. President, First Lady, Mr. Vice President, Excellencies, and distinguished guests. It is a rare honor in life, ladies and gentlemen, to be among heroes. I've had that privilege when I became the owner of one of the most important American flags in history. The flag that was hoisted on LCC 60, the leading vessel that on D-Day first reached the beaches of Normandy. With it, I accepted the responsibility for its legacy and its ultimate destination. That's why I feel humbled and grateful to have the opportunity to speak a few words here today. 870 words in a speech of 5 minutes here at the White House. The place where more than 75 years ago, the decision was taken to free Europe from tyranny, a decision that led to the liberation of my country, the Netherlands, and the end of World War II. A war that claimed so many lives, including several members of our family. 870 words to describe the meaning of this flag and the importance of freedom. 5 minutes to remember the victims of war and to honor the sacrifices made by young American soldiers. When they stormed the beaches of Normandy, certain death was waiting for them. But when they faced death, they gave us freedom. A legacy anchored in the lasting awareness that our freedom was not free, but it came at a price, their lives. Lives cut short by heroism, and as beneficiaries of their heroism, we grow up and live in democratic and free societies. That is proof of true greatness, the ability to bend history for the future fortunes of nations and that of mankind. That greatness is embodied in this flag, a symbol of inclusiveness that unites us with the knowledge that their sacrifices were made for all of us. Can anyone say thank you in 870 words? No country or person is without challenge, but in the presence of this flag, we know that we are capable to dream, to fight, to overcome, and to succeed. My life, ladies and gentlemen, was one of many challenges. So standing here today was a long shot. But thanks to freedom, my dreams could fly high. Thanks to my uncle and mentor, Theo Scholz, those dreams became a reality. And thanks to the opportunity given to me by this country, I was able to achieve the American dream. How can I say thank you in 870 words? I've progressed in life through many lessons. One of many is that success is never giving up, that victory is never accepting defeat. Meaningful words, but on D-Day, they meant the difference between life and death. For me, that eventually led to the possibility to secure the flag and become its guardian. There is no greater honor to be allowed to carry that responsibility. A responsibility that has strengthened the presence of humility in my life. For that, I say thank you. But how can I say thank you to someone who is no longer among us, who is not here today, to someone who gave his life for our freedom and never came home, who was deprived from his American dream and gave that opportunity to me instead? In 870 words, there are not enough words to honor heroes or remember victims of war, wherever they rest, here in Arlington, Normandy, the Netherlands, or any other place. But through that, they connect a special relationship between the Netherlands and the United States, from occupation to liberation. 870 words. Sometimes it's just enough to say nothing and reflect upon a symbol of struggle and freedom. A flag soiled with smoke and oil, pierced with bullet holes and ripped by the wind. For many of you, this will be the first time that you will see the flag. For those who gave their lives in the mud of Normandy, it was the last time. The last piece of America that they would ever see again. This flag. Greatness will shine upon this powerful symbol long after we're all gone. Its story told to generations to come. Not in 870 words, not in 5 minutes, but with the inexhaustible voice of freedom, surrounded by honor, and with the hope of enduring peace. In light of my own mortality, my role as custodian of the flag would always have been temporary. Its legacy, however, will last. 870 words, 5 minutes, to show my gratitude to a nation that carried so much of the burden in our freedom. A nation that means so much to me. Abraham Lincoln once said, "You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today." So today, I finish the work assigned to me and retire from an amazing duty, but with one inevitable conclusion: to donate the flag to its rightful place, the United States of America, the country from where it left on its mission to free Europe 75 years ago. So I'm very grateful that President Donald Trump, Commander-in-Chief, is willing to receive this important symbol of freedom and legacy of heroes on behalf of the American people. The flag is home. They are home. Thank you.
wish I was taller. What a wonderful gift this is. President Trump, Prime Minister Rutte, let me begin by thanking you for helping to bring such an important piece of America back to the Smithsonian. I appreciate all the work of the ambassadors from the United States and the Netherlands that really made sure this would happen. But the Smithsonian is greatly indebted to Mr. Crook and Mr. Scholes for the generosity in donating this piece of history. Candidly, one of the goals of the Smithsonian is simple. It is to help America to remember the moments such as D-Day that forever shaped our nation. It is my honor on behalf of the Smithsonian and the Museum Director of the Museum of American History, Anthea Hartig, to accept this flag into the collections of the Museum of American History. The items in the Smithsonian speak volumes about the power of remembering. These artifacts teach us lessons about history and about ourselves. Whether it is the gavel that Susan Anthony used to chair women's suffrage conventions, or the Greensboro lunch counter that students use to demand simple justice, or the Apollo 11 command module that proved that nothing was beyond the creativity and the reach of America. This flag helps all who will encounter it to remember a time when the future of freedom was in doubt. We think so much of Lieutenant Beek, who knew the stakes when he led the vessel that guided the landing craft towards Utah Beach. It's amazing to me he survived the invasion and he became the symbol of the American dream. A Dutch immigrant who became a college professor, who raised a family, who gave his all for this country. This flag reminds us of the courage of people who were soldiers during World War II, who embodied not only the best of our nation, but the best of humanity. So on this year, commemorating the Allied landing on Normandy 75 years ago, this flag is a fitting tribute, not just to him, but to all who risked their lives for freedom. When it goes on exhibit in the Museum of American History's D-Day exhibition, it will remind visitors that we are stronger when we join together to overcome the forces of darkness, when our common human decency outshines ignorance and fear, and when our better angels prevail. So let me say, on behalf of the Smithsonian, it is a great honor to accept this flag, and we are just so humbled and pleased to be the place that will help the world always remember what it means to be an American. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well, this is a very important moment. I want to thank you all for being here, and I will see you soon. I'll see you at the museum. Lonnie, thank you very much. Mr. Prime Minister, thank you. Thank you.